Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Brittany and welcome. It has been officially 1 year since we moved from California to Washington State, and I wanted to sit down and share with you our experience when it came to PCSing. The good, the bad, the ugly, just because I feel like first-time families who are moving from point A to point B, they have a lot of questions. We had a lot of questions and we found answers from his command as well as me Googling and asking other spouses. So if you are a military spouse or a military family and are in a situation where you're gonna move and you want to know a little bit of insight, the good, the bad, the ugly, then let's get on to the video. I do want to start off this video by saying that everything that I will be sharing is from my own experience. It was a lot of trial and error and a lot of learning from our end. So hopefully if you have any questions about it or you just want to get like a brief rundown of it, hopefully this helps. And if you have questions that were not answered, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll try to get back to you with an answer. You get your hard order 6 months prior of when your serviceman has to check into the new command. So for us, we didn't get our hard orders until like September. Let's talk about housing a little bit. Military housing is the way to go. Even if you don't think you're gonna want to live in military housing, my advice is apply for it. Get on that waiting list ASAP. That waiting list is very, very, very long, but they will work with you. I know people have 50-50 experience. Some are good, some are bad. We had a pretty good experience with housing. We got ourselves on the wait list like in September and we were number like 150 or 200. Like we were pretty down on the list, but I wasn't really concerned because we had 6 months to move. Just because you apply for housing and you're on that list, it doesn't mean that you have to accept it or live in a house. I just suggest applying for it just to have as a backup plan. Let's say the apartment that you have fell through or you don't have an apartment, you can't find a house, you can't find a place to live that accommodates your family. With housing, it's based on family size and your serviceman rank. Now, don't be afraid of the number. My husband's start date at his new command got moved up a month. He contacted housing really quick, let them know our situation. They bumped our number a little bit, not so much. The lady did mention to us that with the military, people are constantly moving. That number constantly changes. And we got the keys of the house on March 1st. Don't be afraid if you're still like 150 and you have a month to go before you arrive. Don't worry if anything changes. I definitely recommend to just kind of keep in contact with the housing office and let them know like what is going on and all that stuff. Temporary lodging allowance. That means that basically the military will reimburse your lodging stay. We did a walkthrough of it, just making sure that the house was intact, that there was nothing broken. Kind of think about it like when you rent your first apartment and you do the walkthrough, same thing. Let's talk about house home goods or HHG. So house home goods is basically your house. It's everything that's in your house. When you PCS, you could do one or two ways. One is to have the military move you. Two, you could do a ditty move, like a do-it-yourself move where you move yourself and only yourself. We just had the military move us and it was so easy. Again, experiences vary from person to person. Our experience was super nice, super easy. We had no hiccups, no nothing. The only hiccup that we had was that our delivery date got pushed back, but that was because the house wasn't ready. With us, we had the movers come in and just pack up literally everything in our house except the things that we were gonna take with us in our cars. Let me talk a little bit about the rundown of what happened that day or days. It took 2 days to move everything out of the house. So the first day, they came in around 8 o'clock in the morning and they started to pack everything up. It is chaotic, I'm not gonna lie. But the guy came in, we kind of walked him around the little apartment, asked us what we didn't want them to pack. We had a pile going on the side of things that we were gonna take with us in our road trip, and that included any valuables. So any important documents, any jewelry, you know, if you have like any expensive art or expensive liquor. Oh, they will not move any open liquor. So we did take our liquor with us. If you want something that you don't want to be broken, misplaced, or lost, definitely pack them with you, set them aside, and have them not touch them. So the first day was they came in and they just wrap, box, and it was literally the easiest thing ever. The next day, a truck came in and basically loaded up the whole truck with our stuff. And that was about it. So as they're packing the stuff, they do have their own checklist. People make their own checklist, but the movers has one and you will get a copy of that. And basically with any box and furniture, they will put a green tape on it. Boom. So that green sticker that has a number on it will correspond to the checklist, if that makes sense. Make sure that everything was packed. Frank signed it off and that was it. And then once we got it delivered, There goes Mila. Once it got delivered, they unpacked everything, we went down the checklist, and then he signed it off again. I'm gonna talk a little bit about dislocation allowance, or DLA. Basically, that means that the military will refund you with any gas expense or mileage, gas and mileage, and any lodging. They will not cover food, but they will cover those two things. If you are traveling, like if you are on a road trip, save those important documents. Save those receipts. In the envelope where I had all my important documents, I added the gas receipts as well as the lodging receipts. Airbnb does count. We stayed at an Airbnb when we went to Portland, and my husband just printed out that receipt. It's important to not throw anything away when you're on your way up. So we ended up driving both of our cars up to Washington. The number one question that people ask themselves and we asked ourselves was, does the military ship a car? I don't know a solid answer on this. I heard 50-50. I heard half people say yes and the other half say no. When we asked about it, they told us no. My husband asked like 3 different people and they all told them no, because he was going from sea duty to shore duty, and that the only way that they can ship a car is if the ship itself is going into dry dock. So we ended up driving both cars. We ended up just having his mom help us drive the other car, and basically it. If your serviceman's command says, yeah, we can ship it for you, do it. I know, like, I have a friend here who car was part of the weight of the home goods. I don't know how that happened. Good for her. If you got it, good. If you don't, it's okay, you just have one more car to deal with. So the day of delivery, the movers came in and they did a quick walkthrough of the house, see like what is the master, what is the guest room. A lot of people are not aware of this, but they will unpack you, and they have to unpack you because they get paid if they do or if they don't. Our movers here in Washington, they asked us if we wanted them to unpack for us, and we said yes. But I heard that some people would not ask the family. They would just, where do you want this box to go? Cool. And they'll just put it in that room. Now, if you have the movers unpack you, 1, they get rid of all the paper, and 2, they get rid of all the box, which is what I wanted, because I did not want my garage to be filled with boxes and papers, because I mean, our recycling bin, it can only fit so much. So I will recommend that. A lot of people don't like that because they just feel weird for them to unpack. So I was very happy about that. It took a whole day for them to unpack everything. Obviously, they don't unpack to the T. They just say, this was in the guest room, everything goes in the guest room. My mother-in-law and I did tackle the kitchen just to get it going, just feeling productive. And then Frank was kind of like behind the movers, making sure that everything was good and nothing was broken. If something does come broken in the move, report that ASAP. I think you have about a week or a month. I want to say it's like about a month that you have to report if anything is broken or missing. And that's where that checklist, remember that checklist I told you earlier? That is where that comes in hand. That's basically it when it comes down to like our moving experience. I would just say, if you have questions about moving, talk to your serviceman and have him contact, I'm just gonna say personnel. I don't know if they actually have like a moving department or not, but have him talk to somebody in his command that will help him figure out the answer. If you're a spouse, you can definitely do your own research. You can ask other spouses about their opinions or what they did, or even like Google or YouTube. YouTube is where I found a lot of information, or kind of like an insight, because let me tell you, when I was like, we're moving, I've never done that. You know, so it was nice to see other people experience the pcs-ing. Enough about pcs-ing. Let's talk a little bit about living in the Pacific Northwest. The Pacific Northwest is very, very different than Southern California. The weather, the culture, and just like the fact that there's green everywhere is very different. When we got here, we spent the first 6 months exploring, going on hikes, just going to different towns, different cities, and just taking it in. Making friends was I laugh because I'm a people person. I love to chat with people. I love to meet people, but I don't like the whole like first like initiative part of it. Like I don't like that. My recommendation to you is searching for Facebook groups. For example, I went to Facebook and I searched like Birmingham Navy spouse or Birmingham military family or something along those lines. That way I could interact with spouses and kind of just have at least somebody who has something in common with me, which is being in the military. Also, if you are living in military housing, CAPSIC military housing or Birmingham military housing, just whatever it is, that way you're interacting with people who are legitimately your neighbor. I have a very good friend over here who I met, and I met her through like the military spouse Facebook page. She was like, hi, I need friends. And I was like, hi, so do I. We met together for lunch and we hit it off. Make friends. If you don't make friends, either through Facebook group or through your employment, it's gonna get sad really quick. Try to see the positive in it. Coming from California, it's a big change. I'm looking outside my window and I'm like, it was cloudy not that long ago. Now the sun is kind of peeping out, but like it's just a whole different vibe. Try to adapt to it and make the best out of it. It used to bother me when people got stationed to San Diego and was like, I hate San Diego. I'd rather be back in Virginia or Florida. Like, ouch! So I know how it felt. So I don't like to talk bad about this place to people who've been here for years or people who live here, who grew up here. So I just see it as a positive thing. I see it as I am here for X amount of years. How can I make the best out of it? For me personally, this was my big move ever. I left my bubble. I left my comfort zone. I left my comfort bubble. I left my bubble for the first time in 28 years. So it was very scary, but at the same time, I was very like optimistic about it. I was so happy to like live in a new place, experience a new place. It was also very different. Just like the culture of it is very different. And it took me a long time to like get over my culture shock because it was a lot, it was big, it was a shocker. Like, whoa. I do miss speaking Spanish. I'll just leave it at that. But I try to make the best out of it. The more I got to know people, the more I'm like, oh cool, you know Spanish. Oh cool, so do you. Oh cool, tú hablas español, qué bien. ¿Qué tal? Me llamo Brittanie, ¿cómo estás? Make the best out of it. The pros of living here in the Pacific Northwest is literally the greenery. Beautiful. The mountains, beautiful. That I get to experience all 4 seasons, beautiful. Me and the weather, we're not best of friends. Now we kind of are. Now we're good. The weather between March to like September, October, it's pretty good. Even like September, October, like even though it's fall, like it's still 60 degrees, 65 degrees. But man, winter is rough. I had to go see a therapist and I got diagnosed with seasonal depression. But it's fine, it is okay. I survived my first winter, I could do it again. It's been 1 year, I'm so excited. We just have so much more to explore. I am hoping that we get to explore more of Washington in the summer and kind of get a feel for it. And basically, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm happy that we got stationed near home. It's not like we live in a whole different coast. I hope this video was very helpful. If it did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer or I didn't touch on, leave a comment down below, let me know, and I'll get back to you with a response. If you are about to PCS or you're starting your PCS journey, I wish nothing but the best for you. I hope that your journey was as easy as ours. And thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Bye!